Hi, I'm Isaac. This is the Doctor Who review here with that hashtag show. We are doing episode 9 of season 9, Sleep No More.
Spoilers!
I returned to take the helm of the Doctor Who reviews, and I have started off this journey by not getting any sleep last night, and not for the reason you think. Now, I am a good Doctor Who fan, and so when Moffat says don't blink, I will not blink. When Moffat says to run, I will run. And when he says to sleep no more, I will stay up all night long contemplating that very, very confusing episode. And so here is my review, starting with the concept. Now, conceptually, it was a very experimental new idea, and so I'm very, very proud of Moffat for that. But his execution seemed to fall a little short, and a lot of people I've already talked to will agree with me. The execution and the concept of this story where we are seeing through the eyes of God knows what, the dust, the synaptic nerves of existence, the eyes of people, I really don't know. We start getting this concept down, and honestly, it's kind of slipped away from us. Hopefully, we'll continue to see the story unfold, or will we? I don't know. And it'll keep you up all night guessing what's going on with that episode. So with the concept, I gotta say, only 2 out of 5 hashtags. So now I'm going to talk about the plot. Now, the plot actually was very, very interesting. Like I said, execution was a little poor, but actually the plot of this episode was a nice, refreshing breath of air as opposed to our normal bootstrap paradox ideas or trying to explain time itself. We got something very acute monster story. Unfortunately, I know Moffat was probably going for another scare you from breathing kind of idea, but instead what we ended up having was actually something that felt very classic. This felt like a classic monster, a classic kind of story, a classic kind of he's in a base, something's gone wrong, and let's try and figure it out and solve it. Unfortunately, it seems like we're just halfway through that arc, and that is very likely the situation. If we end up in the next episode and we can finish the story, I think people will remember this one fondly, but as far as the plot is concerned, at this moment, no one's going to go back to watch this episode, I think, on its own. So, for the plot for this episode in particular, once again, 2 out of 5 hashtags. So now I'm going to jump into characters. Now, I don't even want to have to touch on Jenna and Peter too much. They did a great job. One thing that was actually fantastic that the whole cast did wonderfully was learning how to speak to a camera and knowing the difference between speaking actually to a camera as opposed to speaking to this fourth wall camera that usually exists in their life. You could really tell it in their interactions with one another. But one thing that really fascinated me and was really well done in this episode was it seemed like there was a great amount of research that was done for the cultural creation of these characters who were emerging of the Indonesian and the Japanese culture in the 30th century. It was very well done. You could tell that in their language, in their attitudes. You could see that in sort of how they set up their lifestyles, and it was just a great way to express that we're not so Western centric. I really enjoyed that. For characters, I do want to say 4 out of 5 hashtags. So now I want to give my overall review, and sadly I do have to say that I was disappointed. It was not a great episode, however, I do have hope. If this is also a 2-parter, which there are a lot of open-ended things that were left over. We have Clara, who may still be infected by the Sandman. We have some teasers in the trailer for the next episode of the Raven that turned into dust, or little things like the numbers on the back of the neck here and there that may go back to the numbers on the people like 474. So we don't actually know for certain if this is the ending of this story. And we may be revisiting this episode and wanting to watch this episode again just to see possibly some details that we missed that will fulfill the story overall. However, as it stands alone, in the short game, this episode definitely only got 3 out of 5 hashtags. Guess who still has prizes to give away here at that hashtag show? If you want an opportunity to win these comic books that feature not only 12 and Clara, but also your favorite Time Lord ever, that's right, he is, you know it, then you need to go to facebook.com/time and space cosplay, find this video, and comment hashtag THS don't sleep so that I can. If you want to survive, listen to me very carefully. I'm Isaac here at the Comic Bug. Like, share, and subscribe for all things trending in geek pop culture. This is that hashtag show.